Hey, you done here? Okay. Welcome back to another live stream. Let me double check everything before I get started. I'm just going to do it here on this computer. This live stream. Okay. So I'm not going to leave that playing all the time. Now, I think this time I will go to the desktop because mostly that's what I'm going to be doing. So, well, let's start here. Okay, this is ONVif viewer. I installed it the other day. I guess it was yesterday, technically the 15th. I stayed up all night making live streams. I guess I was looking at the snow and installing this, finding software, installing this one I already knew about, and I noticed something. It says it's running as super user, as root, that's root user. Applications don't do that normally, and I did have to. Well, you pretty well always when you install things with DNF, that's the default, package manager in Fedora 32 that I'm running right here. Let's just go to this other picture while I'm talking. You can't get rid of those, but it's pretty big. It looks very big to me now and there's plenty of traffic. They do look like they're going a lot faster than they are because it does drop frames. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But right now I'm also downloading. I'm using this application. I'll show it in a minute. To download, we're getting some artifacts on the screen too. Actually, I might not be downloading from this camera right now, though. Now, it's 14 degrees outside today, and I'm actually surprised that either one of these cameras worked at that cool of a temperature, and I never caught them freezing up, literally just getting so cold they shut down. This one was in my room the 14th is when it started snowing. I stayed up all night and went to bed about 5 o'clock on the 15th, and I was so tired. I stayed up, 22 hours, which wasn't, not smart. Then I was so tired, I slept, got up a couple times, but I ate a protein bar once. Had to do that, and I was tired, I just laid back down and slept, 12 more hours, whatever, however long it was. Anyway, 24 hours, what I counted up when I got up. And so I've been up since about 4 this morning now, and I was fiddling with my videos and renaming them and all that kind of stuff. And so then earlier this morning I decided, I really wanted this thing in the backyard for the snow, and wish I wouldn't have missed, when it really, I just didn't, you never know. They say, 30 or 40% chance of more snow today, and then you don't get it. So that's what's been happening all year. So all winter this year is we haven't, the first time we've actually really got any snow. I think we might have got a dusting of snow one day, I think. But anyway, and this is with it melting. You weren't seeing too much of the twigs and stuff sticking up, and you couldn't see the roof of the van or the truck, until I don't know when, about 11 or 12 or something, started noticing it. I saw a big old diesel going by. Yeah, I've noticed that there's more traffic now, and I don't know why this one is showing. It's little square pixels. That's what they are. I don't. The other one is actually further away from the router, but it's not doing that unless you have to watch for a bit to see if there's any movement when you're watching it live like that. If there's no movement, then you wouldn't know if it's froze up, because I think it'll just show you the last image it saw. But could just have something to do with the front yard. The sun, of course, it's not sunny, but it actually a while ago it was looking a lot brighter when I looked out the window. I think the camera these are pretty good cameras. They're 5 megapixel, and they work really well with there's one thing, there's secure IP security cameras, wireless and wired, either way you want to do it. They really do work well with the light. They're better than this little video camera I bought. A lot better. And the yard is not a hill. This is one of those really wide angle, like I think if I remember right, 120 degrees or something. maybe more than that. Maybe they're 170. They're really wide. I can't remember what's what on all that. But so if I had this thing kind of, it's not exactly centered like that little red shed is in the neighbor's yard. If when it was going the other way, I don't like that view as much, so I moved it a little more. Then when I came, then later when I was using a tablet to aim it in there, and I couldn't see the tablet good because it was the glare of the snow and all that. Even stepped inside the house. But anyway, I like it better there. And then after a while, I thought, you know what, I should have moved more, centered it more, kind of equalized it out. But anyway, I didn't do it because I didn't want to go back out there in the cold. Well, I took a shower and my hair was wet, and I thought, well, I ain't doing it now. That'd be stupid. So anyway, yeah, those I don't remember seeing those all those pixels. I'm gonna go ahead and close it because that's just making it work harder, the camera itself. And I'm downloading. Let's see, that's the Cam 1, and it's been downloading. Well, I shut it down, rebooted my computer, my server computer. It can handle all this. But yeah, there you go. I can see that one there is changing in size. So that's the one that's being. And there was, oh no, there's still a bunch of temp files. Since I did stop it and start it again, they may not get finished. It's really weird. There's another setting. There's different settings in this app. I'll show it in a minute. Let's see what else it might be. See, that's actually yesterday's. See, today's it hadn't even started yet. And I gave it a little, allowed it to have a little more band. It's not this. It's done with. I don't think it's added anything today. I thought it got them all. I think. Now on the other camera, this one, that's the one in the backyard. Now it was the one going through the front window. So it looks like it may have gotten all those now. I don't see any temp. Well, there's one temp. Well, that's an index file though. So index HTML. Sometimes it leaves behind some temp files for reasons I don't know. You see, it hasn't got to that folder yet. That's actually the one I need to do first is the Cam 1 because it only has a 32 gigabyte SD card and Cam 2 has 128. And yeah, it hadn't got to those. So I tried to set it up kind of like I did yesterday. That's the default folder it makes, this HTTrack app. But I tried yesterday to try to see. See, those are all done. So the 15th is what it's working on. I kind of like to peek in on it every once in a while and see if it's. But you see, there's a whole nother bunch of files down there. I still haven't quite. I used to use it more years ago, and kind of was more familiar with what behavior to expect out of it. But it's a powerful, complicated app. So, and it's called. Let me go over here. Oh, let's go back here. Now this is the download screen. It uses the web browser. It doesn't have its own GUI. Its GUI is the web browser. Let's see. That's the name of it right there. I don't want to open it again. And website copier HTTrack. Well, it says web HT. I guess it shows it differently in different, like in its window, but web HTTrack. It's hard for me to say that. I used to call it HTTrack because it's just the way my eyes saw it, I guess. And then if you just wanted to browse the websites you've already downloaded, you could use that. But all it does is go to Firefox or your default browser, whatever is your default browser. And so I usually just go open it up from the file. From the files in here. It's usually what I do. Well, I just wanted to see, usually just want to see the files. The only thing that will play these H.256 files that I have, well, there's two apps I've found. Let's go back. I'm fixing to comment on the weather here. Keep going there. So I did this a lot the other day, but SM Player, which is actually, and it uses M Player as its back end. It's kind of funny because M Player still looks just like it did back Fedora 14 and before. They haven't, and it won't play the H.256 files, but SM Player will, And KM play it will, but it's real weird how it works, and it just I don't it when I try to well, for one thing, when you open up a file in it, one of these files in it, it won't play it. Like what I do is it's actually the only way it will work, and I think either one of them, the one that works the best, but none of this one won't do. I guess neither one of them really can. There's something about H.256 files they don't. You can't go ahead and forward and back in them. You can't skip unless you have the right type of player, evidently, because I was in DNF, the package manager for Fedora, and I saw a web server add-on, streaming server add-on, that would let you do that. And I thought, well, maybe I'm just going to have to set up Apache in here and do that just so I can play those files, I could put it on my website. I might even just as well to just put it on my website, and then if I ever want to share any of those kind of files, I can. I have just very few videos on there because I have 200 megabits download with my ISP, but only 4 megabit. 4 megabits or 5 megabits upload. I have to look. Can't remember now. Anyway, it's just crappy compared to. It's not much. You got to watch out what you. And I've got my website, but it's just HTML and my music, my MP3 files, and they're not real large files. So, and I don't get a heck of a lot of traffic. So it's been okay. I haven't had any trouble with it interfering with my, everybody, my whole household of, computers on the internet. But I had the other day I had it set up to where I had 2 connections. One was downloading one camera and the other was the other. And I thought, okay, well that should. And I added more folders. All the folders I was just going through. I went ahead and put back in the 14th folder. No, I didn't. I skipped them because I thought they were done. Yeah. Anyway, you see all these? They all say they're on the 15th. And I have 5 entries in the application, but it tries to download a 5th, and I kept going around and around with it. When I put 6, then it would try to do 7. When I put, so I thought, okay, I don't want to overwhelm the cameras, and they'll lock up. And I've done it before with this. I tried to go as fast as I could, and I did have 25,000. I think those are bytes. So that's really small. I don't. Let's see what 5,000 bytes would be. If I remember right, bytes are. Oh, it refreshes so fast. That's what that blinking is. It's refreshing the web page. That's how it works. Just to get you an update on what's going on, is it refreshes like every half a second or so. It seems like. Looks like. So anyway, it's connected to that, but it's not downloading anything. And it would, I don't know. If it finished on, say, that one, that folder, well, it would go to the next set of folders. I'm pretty sure about that. I wish I could tell exactly which folder I am, because it's all you see is the date there, and the folder. That's where the video files are stored, and then you see the file you're downloading. And I mean, you can figure it out by. I've done it before. You get this. Well, you can't copy anything because it just goes away faster than you can do it. Faster than I can do it. But you can, like, if I just type some of the numbers up here so I could copy them, and then just the search bar. I just typed them in the search bar so I could copy them, and then looking at them and typing at the same time, and then went and searched over there in Crusader File Manager and found them, but it's a pain. So I'm not sure if these are all in the same folder or they actually are spread out between the different. Well, I'll just look. So no, it's really only working. I think it's only working on this folder right here on camera 1. And so it's going faster. And, oops, again, I did that. So, yeah, that's 50,000, isn't it? 50,000, so 50000. Let's see what that is in kilobytes. I mean bytes. Okay, 50,000 bytes is 50 kilobytes. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I mean, it's kind of weird that some applications still use, like, that's the smallest one. That's what they started with, you know. Still use these small measurements because they don't even, you know, they don't register in my brain. Except for I still have to, I'm going to say, I always save these things in a folder. These, when I look up stuff. So it may not, I might not want that same value again, but sometimes it's helpful to just be able to find the sites that you might want to use. If it comes up right there in, you know, from Google there, I guess that's from Google, or their site they like the best, or whatever, that one, maybe the one that pays, I think that might be what it is. The one that pays to get up there in the top, probably. Support.google. Oh, okay. So I guess that is from Google. So that's 50 kilobytes. Now, let's do this. Oops. 50 kilobytes. Kilobytes. I think those might be really big. I don't want bytes. I want... well, actually, that's what we want is megabits, because megabytes... let's just go megabytes, because megabit would be the network speed. But we'll go mega. That's kilobytes, not, yeah. So let's go megabytes. Okay, see, that's not even a half. That's a 5/10 of a megabyte. That's really slow. I'm not giving it. I don't think I'm working them so hard. The huge number threw me off. I guess originally I had it 25,000. That's what it's set on, and I do remember playing around with it. But those cameras ought to be able to handle. I would think they could handle, you know, a megabyte at least at a time. What would? Okay, 1 megabyte. Let's see. 1 megabyte would be megabyte. I never heard of a megabyte. But it's actually a little more than a megabyte. I didn't know that existed. I thought that, they're, you know, like they're the ones that are up above terabyte. I thought, like tibabyte. I saw that the other day, I think, is what I saw. And I thought, is that bigger than that? Is that something like the next stage after, you know, terabyte or what? I've seen it before, the one that is, or that one. There's one of them that's the, anyway. Okay, I want megabyte. Too many choices in there. Oh, petabyte, that's it. Yeah, petabyte is the one they go up to after terabyte. I don't remember how much that is, but okay, 1 megabyte equals how many? Is that what I want? Yeah, how many bits? 8E6. No, now I've forgotten what I thought it was. Yeah, megabit. And then kilobyte is bigger than a megabit. Okay. Megabit. Oh, that's the data transfer measurement. Okay. Well, let's do this now. I am turning myself around. So if we're getting 5,000, which it would say, you know, what they're talking about. That says bytes saved. This should probably be in the transfer rate numbers, not just, you know, size numbers. I mean, like, I have 200 megabits download, which is, I think it's about 200 megabytes. Let's see. And yeah, I think officially we have 4, but we usually get 4.5, 5, maybe 5.5 up. So 5,000, no, 50,000, right? 50,000. And see, it goes up and down as to, yeah, there it is right there. 50,000 bytes, because that's what I thought it was, and I think that is right. 50 kilobytes. What about megabyte? Already did that. Okay, megabytes, 5/10 of a megabyte. Actually, is that right? Or is that five? That'd be 5/100 of a megabyte. Yeah. Now yeah, I believe so. Okay. Anyway, that doesn't matter so much as what. Now here's what I want to do. I think copy. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, said 1 megabit is really what I think it is, but let's just go megabyte. I don't think they have, this is not one that does the Ethernet speed. I don't know that it's necessary. Yeah, I guess it is a speed rating. Okay, now I want to know megabit equals how many bytes? Oh yeah, a bit is even smaller than a byte. Where's the bytes? There it is. Yeah. It didn't do anything. Is that what is that byte is? I guess it's not working because I'm going in reverse. Can you do it the other way? I think there's might be a better one. Oh, it will go backwards. I'm just killing myself for nothing. Megabyte. Oh, 1e plus 6 bytes. I don't know what that is. There's, you think you're familiar with that sort of thing. I'm tired of messing with it. Think you're familiar with that sort of thing, and then you find all kinds of new stuff you never heard of before. I didn't know there were so many different ways to do it. Okay, so let me, I can look here and see that I have a good signal and all that stuff. But I have to go to the Google site the YouTube site to. What I was trying to figure out is what could I safely transfer without locking up my cameras. I do not remember what I tried the last time, but I just started with the default and then worked my way back because the default was too fast for these cameras. But I don't know how I probably see how much trouble I'm having figuring it all out. I probably didn't need to go that slow. The thing I do know, when I was going faster, it'll work for 30 minutes, an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then it would slow down to, it would take like 1 to 5, 10 seconds to click another number. See, they're not moving fast as it is. See how slow they're moving? That's with, it's not on these cameras, since they can't handle that much traffic. Trying to, and they're also recording at the same time, when there's movement out there. That'll just really jack them up. I don't want to do that. It kind of looks like, with it going between 50,000 and 25,000, that I probably don't want to go much faster. It's just that I ran it. Since I slept so long, I ran it over 24 hours. I was up all those hours, so, I ran it like probably 34 hours or something around that. And it still wasn't completely done with just the 14th, the folders for the 14th. It got all of them for Cam 1, but not Cam 2. And I didn't care a whole lot of Cam 2 because it was going through my window through the screen out in the front yard, showing the front yard, which is the view I want, but I just haven't felt like getting up there, and crawling up on ladders is hard for me to do without falling anymore. So I haven't got it put up outside. And I have it mounted on an old mic stand, and used to use it for my cameras, but Well, it had 5 legs, and they kept breaking off. Now there's 3, and so it has to be leaning up against something, the wall usually, to stand up. So I started using this tripod that's for my work light, but it's real flame. It's not made for even something as heavy as this little old camera, and so it's just doing that when you're using it. So anyway, the weather, okay, it went up all of a sudden. I guess the sun must have come out in Fort Worth. That's really Fort Worth. 18 degrees just a while ago when I started. It was over 14 degrees. Shows the high today will be 19. Tonight it's going to be 16. It was 3 and 4 degrees this morning when I got up, and it stayed that way until 11 o'clock, I think. This is, my area forecast. And I have an indoor-outdoor thermometer, but, it's affected by the sun in the morning. And let's see, I can turn it on now just to see, but it's still, well, it's also, I think because I just got it just stuck out the window, I think it's affected a lot by the heater in the house. I think, I don't know where it's actually setting out there, the sensor for it. Yeah, it's not right at all. It's showing 31 degrees. So it must be getting some heat from, even though the sun is around the corner now, should be. It's what sun there is. The sun radiates heat even when it's behind a hazy, even when it's hazy and you can't see it. But, yeah, there it is. Oh, that's still Fort Worth, though. I don't know why they don't. I guess they just don't have one. I mean, there's several people with little weather stations in our area that'll come up on other sites. But it's usually cooler out here than it is in town because of all the, the concrete and roads, black asphalt roads. They heated up more. They radiate heat. But, yeah, they're saying tonight, okay, tomorrow was 80% chance. Now it's 80% or something around that now. 40 this afternoon, 80 tonight, and 40 tomorrow. So I'm hoping it'll snow again because I want to get it on my cameras and in the backyard, because it's prettier in the backyard when it wasn't on the 14th because it hadn't even covered all the grass. There's lots of, I don't know I didn't pay any attention. Don't look out the window that much, but it was green. There's a lot of green sticking through the snow. And it might have been more, basically weeds than grass. But last several years, we'll have green, even regular grass growing all year long because it hasn't been getting cold enough to kill it, cold enough for long enough. But anyway, this is, I don't know how many years. I guess I could look it up, but sometimes it takes a while to find that stuff. And I'm not that interested to go do all that. But anyway, might be telling us right here if I'd look. And I have noticed there's been lots of snow around the country, evidently, really cold. That's in Florida. National summary. I kind of glance at this once in a while. 35 miles per hour wind. That's in California, Idaho. Negative 28 in South Dakota. No, South Dakota, that's where it gets cold. I mean, of course, it gets colder up in Canada and Alaska, but in that place, I think it's so flat and the wind can just blow across those plains up there. When I was a kid, we made a trip up to North Dakota, so we had to go right through it. We drove up there. Me and my grandma, my mom and papa all took us, me and my sister, up there to see my cousins. And then we got in their station wagon, and we drove up into Canada and went camping. That was one of the funnest camping trips I ever had, except for it was cold, really cold at night. My mama, my papa was born in 1898 or 89. I can't remember now. Let's see. I can't remember for sure. One or the other. I think he was 10 years older than her, and she was born in 1900. So, or right at 10 years older than her. So I guess it was 90. No, 90. It would be 89. Yeah, 1889. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we were sleeping in. We were pulling a pop-up tent trailer, and we were sleeping in that. But there were so many of us with the three. My my aunt, her husband, and their 2 girls and a boy. My mama, papa, me, and my sister. So there's plenty of us. And so, and we camped a couple of different places, here and there on the way and stuff like that. And anyway, back then, this was, in, let's see, I don't know exactly what year it was, but I was 10 or 12. 9 or 10, somewhere around in there. And so I was born in 56, so I can't do the math right now. My brain's fizzled. Anyway, it was in the 60s, in the mid to late 60s. Yeah, mid 60s, because I do remember. Anyway, I think I was 12 in 69, something like that. So, what am I looking at? Oh, pressure, reporting snow 179, rain, lightning. See what, I don't usually go looking at those. Let's see what they have in them. Oh, okay, they got snowflakes on the different states. So we're not having snow right now. We're like right there. Heavy snow. How about that? Heavy snow is in the place with the heaviest snow is in Texas. What in the world? Can you go to it? No. Can't zoom in on it or anything. How about that? So anyway, I'm getting off. This is a cute story, so I'll tell that story. I'm going to close this until I need it again. But, so my mama was worried. I had asthma when I was a kid, and she was so worried about me. And she also believed, that if you breathe in too much cold air, you'll get a cold. You'll get sick. And well, it does happen. But there's people. They always said that's not possible and all that. You generally, any like medical people or whatever. But whatever reason, I mean, it wasn't cold air necessarily that I remember. I don't remember a whole lot about it all now, but just in general, giving me an allergy attack. But maybe some. But anyway, the biggest problem was allergies, I think, really, that brought it on. Things that I was allergic to, But so we had, in our camping gear, and of course I didn't have, I have a little, what I'm trying to say, kerosene lanterns. And she had the big old green one, that tall, about 14, 15 inches tall. And she'd had it for a long time. They camped. Every year they'd go camping, 1 or 2 times in the summer. And they took us, quite several years, several different times. Just some of the best memories ever. But that time we had gone way up there. Oh, yeah, we didn't drive all the way up there. Why did I forget that? One of the coolest parts of the whole trip is we rode the train up there. And when you're riding the train, I've never ridden a train. Well, I haven't ridden a train before or since. A real train like that. Passenger train, No, we didn't jump in a boxcar. Anyway, but you go through the country, I thought it was cool, go down the highway and seeing scenery. Well, you're going out in the country that you can't get to any other way. And this is the most beautiful scenery. I would just stay by that window with my nose glued, looking as things go by until they're going by so fast. I actually got motion sickness up until I was in my 20s. I don't know. I guess I still would get it if I started driving when I was 16, so I was usually always the one driving. But as a passenger in a car, I would get worse and worse and worse, and looking out the window made it worse. But I loved to look out the window until I get really nauseated. So anyway, we were up there in Canada, and she was so worried. And I was a kid, and I knew better than to hover over a kerosene lantern. She made me hover over that kerosene lantern. She thought that it helped me, breathe in warm air. And it was killing me. I was choking and coughing. And she'd say, "See, you're already having trouble." I told her, I loved my mama to pieces, and I didn't want to argue with her. But finally, I said, "This thing is doing it to me." "No, it's not." She's a very intelligent woman, but that was one thing that they were taught growing up, that she was a school teacher, and there wasn't nothing she didn't know something about. But I know one thing she was wrong about. That kerosene lantern didn't help me none. It made it worse. And so And so she put that thing right near where I was sleeping and made me sleep with it down in the floor where I was breathing those fumes. I mean, the last thing in the world you want to breathe is fumes from something that's burning, you know. I knew that just from messing around with fire myself. I like to play with fire, you know, when I was a kid, burning things up, burning up my little army men and models and everything. But yeah, don't breathe that plastic burning stuff. That's real bad. But anyway, and don't burn your army men, kids, or your models, or anything. So anyway, it was just killing me. So I don't remember all the details, and we did camp more than one night, but I think I moved it after she went to sleep, and then she woke up and yelled at me or something. Anyway, I remember some of them were sleeping in the back. You know, the station wagon had a seat. That's where I rode. Me and three of us kids rode in the back of the station wagon. The seat it could, it's either all flat. It's real, you know, those long Chevy station wagons, but the back, very, very back seat would fold up, and you're looking out the back window. And I rode in that seat for, I don't know if the whole drive or what, but I remember doing it for a long time. I like being able to look out the back. I'd never done that before. But in those station wagons, anything with a back window like that, they cracked the window I'm not so sure if it even had I'm surely it might not have had air conditioning, but you could crack. The people up in the front would get hot. Say they could crack the back window, and it would make the air come in the windows and out at the back. You know, get better circulation. But thing about having a back window on a flat back vehicle, my '76 Blazer does the same thing. Real bad. If that window's open, there's a current of air that goes like that, and it brings exhaust fumes back in. And so I remember sitting there long enough to breathe exhaust fumes enough to get feeling bad. And but anyway, that one of the nights anyway, maybe the next night, my mom said, "You got to sleep in the car because you're getting too cold in the tent," you know. And everyone, in that time, they were probably like age I am now, 60. I'm 64. They were probably 65 to, you know, somewhere between 64, 60 something and 70, somewhere between there. And then they did live to be quite, you know, up into their 80s. And I was grown, and my kids were big kids, you know, and that was a really good blessing too. But that they were with us, you know, that long. But yeah, my mom taught. She retired finally at I guess she retired at 65 but then she kept substituting and she kept teaching until she was like 72. You know, her mind was sharp right up until the last year or so. And she had a stroke, and then, you know, that she lived. I was with her when she had it, and I called the ambulance and everything. But it damaged her brain some. She had a lot of trouble. She had to go to rehab. She couldn't talk good or anything, you know. But and she was, I don't know what she was. I don't remember now. They both lived to be, like my papa had died about a year or 2 years before that, and he died when he was either 82 or 84. Yeah, so she wasn't near as old as him then, because she was actually 10 years younger than him. So I don't remember the details. Maybe he was 86 or 88. Now I don't remember. Because I think maybe she was 82 or 84 when she passed on. But anyway, yeah, fun story. Huh? Well, you know, that's just part of life. I mean, I kind of remember of course, it's sad when the bad things happen, but I just remember everything about them with joy, you know. But anyway, so let's go back to the snow and all that. I forgot what it was. Yeah, I'm really wondering. Well, one way, just so happens that I can go in here and see files being written. So that's the quickest way for me to figure out what's going on. Now, I saw one right there get a little bigger, and it's kind of hard to tell these temp files, they go, the ones that have H.265.temp, I thought, that's not growing though. Maybe it's the next one they're going to write, but, well, there's one problem, like I said, when you're in that application and you restart a download, then every time, last several times I've used it, I guess it's only the second time. Yeah, a few months ago I tried to do the same thing. We did have we had a very, very small amount of snow. And I tried to, and I really missed it. I was asleep. And I tried to get it off, download those days off the camera. I tried to download, I just sent it to the root, well, not the root folder, but the SD card folder, or the recordings folder, and tried to get the last 3 days. Well, I let it run for 3.5 days, 24/7. Never did get them all, and they started getting deleted before I got that far. Some of the first couple of folders got deleted, so that but it was on whatever folders were there, it would get them. So I ended up with a bunch of temp files that wouldn't see. They're only 16 kilobytes. Those aren't going to play. So in the other, I think I ended up deleting them. I didn't want to delete them until I was done downloading to make sure I wasn't making a mistake. But like, you can still play them. I can do it that way. Let's see. I don't know. Let's find out if these ones that are in between the temp files. Look at me, really good at that. Try it one more time like that. There we go. Now, okay. My eyes swap letters and numbers, and going through a list like that, I have a real hard time getting it right. So let's just do that one now. That's from 215. Oh, those are from 216. Why are they in the same folder? I didn't catch on to that. Huh. Well, they're putting them in the same folder for some reason. Maybe it's because it's yeah, 12:02. Oh, that's PM, not AM. And that's AM there. Okay, well, I'll do a couple more of those. Be careful. I want to actually delete them. This is in my backup drive, so I don't have another copy. Try to always click off of those. Oh, now they're going to be in a really crazy order, because I did figure out if you put this in an order so that they will be showing up, like oldest to newest, and it will open them up in here and play them in oldest to newest. But see, that's 0215. But that's how much snow we had. And if I do that, you can get full screen, but you can't. Oh yeah, you can. If you go down there, you can see it'll come up. So yeah, we see that's how much more snow was there. Oh, but it won't stay up long enough for me to be able to. Let's try it this way. Well, that doesn't do anything. I'll leave it like that then, so I can operate it. I did F11 to try to, like in VLC media player, it will make it as big as it can be. Yeah, it wouldn't do it. Let's see. Maybe if I click in the window. No, this one don't do that. If you hit F on the keyboard, it'll be full screen though. So that was a glitch in the video. You get a lot of those with these. Yeah, I saw a strange artifact. I don't know, unless that was a bug. Something went across the screen down. Could have been a bug. Usually I don't know all that. Yeah, there went something. I'm not sure. Sometimes we'll see if you pay attention, that's the seconds counting off. Well, that's obviously, now it starts skipping frames, and so it'll go real fast. And so that's one thing that seemed to be moving really fast, because it's skipping so many frames. But I can actually see the smoke coming out of that house over there. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. It could be a bird going by, and it's actually skipping frames, so it's going really fast. But, and I'm not sure let's see, I'm not paying attention. 754, that will be in the AM, because this goes on, these things go on 24-hour clock. If they, I would change them if I could. I can't stand that. I don't think that way. I think in AM PM. There's somebody out there walking their dog. It looks like they're dragging a bag. They are dragging a bag. It's like a backpack or something. Probably a kid. I hadn't really thought about it, but I'm sure the kid, well, that was on the weekend anyway, I think. Yeah, he's dragging a backpack. The kids, I don't think the kids are, but that's in the morning. That's before the bus would even, well, that's about the time the bus would be running, actually. I imagine they canceled school. They were talking about it. The day or two before it happened, before the snow hit. But I believe the 14th was on Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Sunday. This is the 15th, though. This could have been Monday. Well, let's look and see. Oh, the 15th was Monday. So that kid, he might, maybe he went down to the bus stop and decided, and then this bus didn't come, so he went back back home. He used to when I was a kid. I grew up in this house. When I was a kid, well, they would move them around, but they stopped, like 3 or 4 times on every street. They didn't make the kids go all the way down to the corners. And it's crazy because, anyway, right there is where our bus stop was for years. Well, it used to be like further down the road the other way to the left, but and for a while it was up there, like that house, but over that way. I don't really know how they managed to move it, if it was parents calling in or just what happened. But anyway, nowadays, as dangerous as it is for kids everywhere, the stupidest thing in the world is to make them go way far off from their house, to go to, wait for the bus. But, yeah, I remember, like when I was 15, hadn't got my car yet. It was right here, and so I would usually just go, when the bus pulled up, I'd go running out the door and get on the bus. But then when I got my car, when I turned 16, I got my car, and after that I drove. A couple of times my car was broke down, I had to ride the bus. I hated that. But, it wasn't cool to ride the bus when you're driving age. Let's just see what these look like. Okay, now that's to the end of the ones I put in there, but sometimes it doesn't seem like as many as I put in there. Huh. I'll bet you anything. Yeah, there's a bird. I just figured it out. Some of that stuff moving around the screen, that must have been birds. Yeah, all it looks like I've got is the stuff from the stop button is actually the play button on this app. What's really crazy with this application, it's a pretty good application. It just works different. The buttons are different than VLC. VLC is supposed to play these H.255 files, but it won't play them. And but if I go, let's just go back here. I've got a few that I've downloaded manually. Let's go to Cam 1. Okay, I'm in the Cam 1 and there's files in there. Even when you say select all files, it still won't even show them, much less open them. But it can play them. It's the weirdest thing with these H.265 files. Now, it could be because of that .265 file extension that they put on them, this camera does, and you can't change that. They even called it their own proprietary format. And the only thing they could do, and the only thing they would have done, could have really done, is change the file extension. They don't own, they're not the ones that owns the H.264 and H.265 codec. So you see, that's what they are, though. But VLC doesn't care what codec it is. If it can play it, it plays it. I was going to look at the. Here's the. Oh, I was thinking that there was a place if you right-clicked, you could see more about the file. You can see it in VLC, but VLC can't play them. Like if let's open up VLC and just, I was wondering if it would tell you codec information. Probably not, since it can't play them. Let's see, open multiple files, and we'll go into my backup drive. That's where they're at. And we'll go to, let's go to the 15th again. Oh yeah, media files, it shows nothing, but you can say all files and it will see them. Oh, these are still growing. Those probably weren't playing. VLC can play files that are still being written. Wow, I didn't know that would do that in that window like that, in the upping windowing. So let's only pick the ones that, well, actually it won't matter with VLC, except for you don't want the temp files. I think, anyway, what I had thought I'd figured out is, well, you can tell it by the number. Let's see, 073429. No, it's not in that list. Oh, there it is. See, so that file is not finished. But wait, why are these the ones that are? They're not getting bigger. How can they be getting smaller? They're going smaller, bigger, smaller, bigger. I've never seen that before. Oh, because it's changing files, because it's organized in the newest on top. So as they're being written, they keep swapping places. There we go. It's confusing, doesn't it? So anything, yeah, I don't know. I should probably go down below the temp files. Let's just do that, because all those are in the process of being written. That's probably why just a very few of them would play. But I would say the ones I selected, pretty much all of them are being written, I think. I'm not sure now. So maybe that application can play the ones that are being written too. VLC, see, any application that can play files, stream files, it can play partial files. That's what it basically is, you know. And so anyway, let's open it up and say play. And see, it just goes right through them, trying to play them, but it can't. Let's see. It's not responding when I click on anything up there. Maybe because it's made it work hard or something. Let's hit play again. Oh, I see. It's not really. Well, I guess I better not give it. Oh, it could even be the USB being written to and trying to read from it all at the same time. And that's a lot of files to open up at once. Well, anyway, probably shouldn't have done it that way. Let's try one more time. There are other apps. Let's see. Let's do it. I know it can't play them, so it was a shot in the dark that it could do it. Code metadata. Yeah, that's what I'm actually wanting. Oh. I don't know, maybe I don't have anything installed on here. The stuff I have installed with group installs and yeah, I don't have anything. I already know I don't have anything else. Well, this is the only other thing that can play those files. I don't know if it can. Directory, file. Now that's one, that's from the 14th. That should be Cam 1. Let's see if it can play any of them. And it won't play anything until you hit play, which is really weird. But the other day, I tried to play these like that. Earlier today, I guess it was. It won't play them. Now let's see if it does it the same way the other one did. We can just try it from this folder. It doesn't have to be just don't open so many up. This time we'll say open with SM Player. I'm still going to get off of that because I'm worried that I will slip and do something on the keyboard. And this one does some. See, those are grayed out. It's not. It does take a little bit to start playing these files sometimes. But it's just, it says ready and all that, but it's not playing them. But anyway, the the KM player, it won't see them or anything, but it will play them if you say right click on them and select them, right click and say open with. And this one, I was thinking it was the same way, but it's just, I don't know, maybe since I opened a few files, it's not, let's try going to the next one, see if that does anything. Okay, now it ungrayed, see if it'll play it. It's actually really weird on these files. It's kind of a different player the way it works anyway. But you can do, I was thinking you can do URLs, so I already tried that, but it'd be cool if you could just play them straight off the camera to see if you want them or not before you download them. You can download them manually one at a time, but I didn't get that to work playing them straight off and actually, you know what, I do know that those cameras won't support that. I remember that now. They can't handle it. It's too much work for them. But the way I'm downloading them is the best way that I've found, because if you just go, I'll quit messing with the players now. If you just go to the camera, see, I think I'm not sure, but I think we're downloading from camera 1 right now still. So I'll go to camera 2, the one that's not being, if I'm right, one that's not being downloaded from as much. Yeah, see, that's as bit, well, you can make it bigger, a little bit bigger by hitting Control Plus just in the browser. That gets it out of the picture if you do that. Well, I guess I can scroll up a little bit. That's as big as I can get them. And, they're big enough to look good. I showed that a minute ago. They're big enough files to look good. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Oh, they look pretty good in the browser considering they're zoomed in that much. See, I stay on about 200 zoom so that my text will be big enough. And that's with it all made as big as I can make it. This is a 49-inch television, 4K television. It's like 38 or 34 something by whatever. Really love it. I just got it. I bought it on Black Friday before Christmas. And I was having trouble seeing everything on my 23-inch monitor, but even with my little glasses on. But now I can see, well, the letters, it depends on, some applications are really good about making them big enough and some of them aren't. That's okay, I can see that, but I set it up really high because if I set it down on my desk, I have the other monitor still and I use it for the other computers that I have, but I set it up high so that it would be a little further away from me. Well, and the way I sit in my chair, you can see that quite easily, Like here's me in the desktop. So, see, I'm leaning way back. That's just what's comfortable for me. I've always sat like that. But I was always looking at the bottom rim of my glasses to look at my other monitor. But this one, it's right in my glasses the way I'm sitting, So I like it like that. So anyway, so if you go in here, and device information. Go to the bottom, you can browse the SD card in this particular camera software. And this is, let's go to the 16th. See what's in there. Oh yeah, there's lots of stuff. Now that's midnight. Let's get the most recent. Is that one being written or anything? Yeah, probably not. Okay, so you click on it. You say, do you want to download it? Say yes. I guess I turned it off the other day and never turned it back on. My scanner, no, it's turned on. It usually always pops up, and it makes it it just drives you crazy if you're trying. Like they say, if you have to click on them one at a time, and you can click on several, but about 5 is about all it can handle you downloading at once. But they will download a whole lot faster than the way I'm doing it. But the other way, you don't have to. It's unattended. You don't have to sit there and do it manually. See, it's just now getting past halfway downloaded. So to sit here, I've tried it before. I've done it for a couple of hours, and it just drives me nuts. I was trying to just get pretty much most of a day or half a day's worth of files that I wanted, because maybe I wanted to save them. I wanted to maybe edit them into a video or something. The first time I tried to do it was when we had some deer. We had 5 deer. I got it on my video camera. There was 5 of them. And 1 or 2 of the does had fawns not in our backyard, but in the backyard behind us. The one, where's that picture at? Well, I guess I'm going back and forth, aren't I? So here's that viewing app. So it was really cool. It was really fun. This trailer here, it's open under there, but it's perfect shelter. And so those does, the does that had there, I'm sure they had them there and kept them there back in this. Well, it was really kind of June, I think. And the does would jump, and I think some of them were probably bucks that were coming with them. But I think they would come at night and sleep under there. I think is what they were doing, because you'd see when I caught them, it was real early in the morning, and they were way up here, further up the yard, right where they're fixing to go beside the house. And but for some, a couple of months at least, there was 2. Let's see, how many were there? I remember being twin fawns, 2 of them running around, and then seems like there was 3 altogether. But anyway, I don't know if there was just 2 or 3 altogether, but I think there was 3, and the third one was the one. What I would call, I'm saying is the third one would be a little bigger than the other 2. Yeah. Anyway, every night, they would come and go all the time. Sometimes you'd see them. I wanted to put this camera back here to get video of them, but I wasn't feeling good, and I just never. And I didn't want to just set it on the mic stand and leave it there. I figured the wind would blow it over and break it or something. But I didn't feel like putting it up. And so anyway, they would come and go, and they grew, But the twins, one of them disappeared, and you would only see the one. He would just be running around the yard. And the other one, I think right up in there, it's wide enough for them to get through. The does, they just, and the bucks, they just jumped up the fence. And I never was able. The only ones I knew were does were the ones that stayed around, whether they were does or bucks. They would stay around because they don't have big racks. The deers around here don't really generally have big racks or anything to make them show up, Anyway, one day I was looking out the garage doors over in here, the back garage door, and the doe was right here, and I was taking video of her, and I didn't even see the fawn. It was down in here kind of roaming around. And she squatted down, and I thought, what did she do? She's taking a poop. And then I realized, I've seen it in some of those videos about, animals and stuff. They say they're trying to make themselves look bigger to scare you. And it's kind of silly, I think. I know I've seen them do it. If they crouch down on their back legs, they can jump like 10 or 15 feet. And I think she was getting ready. She was trying to defend her. I think she was worried about her fawn, and she was getting ready to pounce at me, And she stayed like that for a while, and I started talking to her. And I don't know, I've been real quiet before because I didn't want to disturb them and scare them, but I started talking to her, and she kind of looked at me, and then she quit doing that, and then she just kind of walked across the yard and got way around there to where I couldn't see her, and I thought she'd left, and then I stepped out, and she was still over there kind of looking my way, and then she went back. She went on. She went out the front, and the fawns would follow them, and I don't know, they really didn't look big enough to be able to jump the fence, the fawns, but they can, they could go out this way and go. They have to walk a little. Well, they might be some easier fences to jump, but what I kind of figured is they went all the way down the service road and down the side road and then back up our road. But since they were staying here, one way or the other, generally through our yard, they would, come and go from their shelter here, and that yard is not active. I think there's. I still ain't sure if there's anybody living there anymore or not, or if they just kind of come and check on the place. But I think they do. I think there's people living there now. There's lights on almost, that come on and go off and stuff. So, but they don't get out in the backyard. Well, we don't either much. There used to be a lady living there, and she's been gone for years. And her grandson basically, years ago, she was keeping her grandson, and you'd see him all the time. There's still some stuff left, but there was a swing set and kids' toys. There was stuff there for 10 years after he grew up. But I think probably that's who either comes there or lives there now. But anyway, I didn't even ever get to know them. I talked to her a couple of times when I was down back. I used to have my 54 Chevy sitting down there, and I had a boat. And then for a while, a couple of years, I'd bought a new Chevy. In 2000, I bought a new Chevy Silverado. Got rid of the boat, and I had the 54 and my Blazer, my 76 Chevy Blazer back there. And then I sold the 54, and I started driving the Blazer again. Got laid off, and my health wasn't good, and I couldn't keep the truck, so I went back to driving my Blazer. And so there hadn't been anything back there since about 02 or 03 or something like that. But anyway, let's see before we close this app again, we'll see. Just pretty much the same. It's so cold, it's not all melting. Well, like the street, usually our street will just, it'll just melt in the daytime, because it's usually like 25 to 30 degrees when we have snow, 32, well, if it's 32 degrees or 33, then of course it'll start melting right away. It'll usually melt it when it's 32 outside the street, and we usually melt, what snow we would get. Okay, now let's go look at that. Let's close this section, this extra 2 windows there. So since I downloaded that, it'll be in my downloads folder, and that's the file I'm making right now. Okay, so let's do it that way. There that is. Open with. Well, let's just open that and see what it looks like. Make sure I know that'll play it. So these are generally around 5 minutes long. That's their default, but they sometimes record longer if there's a lot of action. Yeah, now, I am seeing those artifacts. I don't know what's doing that. They're maybe, it's if the wind's blowing, like if it's we get the most wind from on the back side of the house, warm air or cold air, we generally always get the most wind. So it's a little bit breezy. But those square-looking artifacts, I wasn't seeing that in the other camera. So what I was getting at is maybe that camera's colder than the one in the front. But or it's actually getting downloaded off of pretty heavy, and it's and the processor's not being able to fully process these videos. It's having trouble. I mean, it doesn't look so bad. Well, now it is moving. See, it's not doing seconds. It's counting really fast, so it's skipping lots of frames. It's still pretty neat. I never actually intended to get a really wide angle cameras, but you get to buy. Like I would need 4 cameras to get the area I can get with these 2. With the really wide angles. So. And like it looks like a hill, but our yard it's a hill going down, but it's not. The sides aren't higher. It's pretty much straight across if you look out the back. But if I was to aim it down some more, I like seeing the trees though. But if I was to aim it down some more, then it wouldn't look so rounded off, so fish-eyed. But I tried it. I started out with it. Well, I saw it and I thought, oh, it looks fisheye. I could tell that in the tablet, even though I couldn't see it too good when I went out there to set it up. And I thought, well, I'll bring it down. I don't like that. So I brought it back up. And I didn't like the left side of that fence. And, it's just a fence. You can mostly just see the fence where the little shed is that shed in the neighbor's yard. This one, well, you used to see it real good, but the bushes those are still green. That's an evergreen bush. I don't remember I don't even know what it's called, but it's actually started in their yard and then it started growing in our yard too. So it's kind of in both yards. But and our leaning trees, years ago, it was always a leaning tree ever since we were kids, but it started getting, well, it had another really big branch that came out about right in there. And it was getting big and heavy, and one year it snowed a lot for here, like I think it was 6 inches, and it was ice, snow and ice, and so the tree was full of snow and ice, and it just went down till that other big branch was even closer to the ground than this one is. So we cut it off. My neighbor, well, the son of the neighbor. He was living there then, and he brought his chainsaw over, and we cut it off. And we had stacked it up over there. I don't know, I don't know. I can't just look at a stack of wood and know how. Half to a quart of wood. I don't know. It was definitely at least a half a quart. Anyway, but one thing I knew because I had piled a bunch of wood right in. Oh, it's done. I had piled a bunch of wood. I'm not done talking. I had piled a bunch of wood right there one year, and it got so full of ants it started. Then they were there, and so then they would eat on that tree, and it was starting to show some damage. So I cleaned it all out after it'd been there 2 or 3 years when I realized it. So that time when we cut all that wood, I didn't want it that's a hill, going that way. I didn't stacked it up this way and made a nice big stack. It's about right there, about 3.5 foot tall. And anyway, his father-in-law, his same girlfriend, but they weren't married yet. But anyway, his father-in-law gave it to him, and he came and got it after it sat there a month or two. But and I helped him you can get by the left side of our house, so I helped him get back there. And, he just backed up and we loaded it up and then he drove back out. So as not to have to load it. I think that's what took him. I told Jeff originally about, we could do that. And I think they were kind of hesitating they thought they were going to have to carry it or wheelbarrow it out of there, And I told him, is he going to come and get that? After a while. Well, and anyway, I said, now he can drive down there. So anyway, he did. But, of course, you could have sold it or something, but I didn't want to fool with that. And that's still kind of... Now, I used to be a cabinet maker, but I started liking working with wood when I was a kid. I took wood shop in junior high, so then I really liked it because I learned how to use some of the tools, Then when I was grown, I was a cabinet maker for several years, and but I never in the wood shop we didn't have a lathe, but me and my favorite boss, he was we were talking about it one day. We both wished we had a lathe, and he's thinking about getting one, but he couldn't do that. He had just bought a whole bunch of $150,000 worth of tools, he had bought on credit because we were real busy at that time. All kinds of fancy stuff, drum sanders and stuff that I had. Drum sander was something I had never even seen before until he bought that one. But anyway, we sanded our face frames and our doors. We made doors too, raised panel doors. But you'd start with a rough belt, run them all through there, and it had it pulled them through itself. Do it on like 60, sometimes, well, depend. Well, usually we'd start on 80 grit and we'd work down Actually, I think we worked down to, we do 60, 80, 120, and then I think we did like 400 after that or something. So we had to run them through several times, and that made more dust. God, that made dust. But it sure was a lot easier than doing with a belt sander and a vibrator and doing it by hand. That's what we call doing it by hand in my generation. Now all these kids are seriously using it. You know, a lot of them are wanting to do it by hand with a plane and a hand sand and stuff. I'm not wanting to go that far backwards. When I was growing up, all the power tools were new, and when somebody said they built something by hand, that meant no power tools whatsoever. We'll quit playing that same file over and over. Okay, so anyway, that's I'm going to put this in the folder with my, see which one was it? That was Cam 2. But that's why I'm going to such trouble to figure out how to run that automated downloader, because even though it's slow, well, like I said, it wouldn't be so slow, but I can't run. I know I can't run it at defaults, and now I've lost what the defaults were. I don't remember. But and when you stop and start it, that's the other thing. I hate to stop and start it, because I'm not sure if when I do that it, you know, like the only two starting again profiles on that thing, the one that it defaults to, that's the one it's on right now. I'm not so sure that it will, like if a file doesn't get completely downloaded, that it will go back and finish it. But the other one, I am sure, because the last month or two ago when I tried to do the last time we got a little bit of snow, it deleted all my files I'd already downloaded. I just couldn't believe it. Let me see. Well, here we go. Yeah, 2021-01-03. Well, those are all HTML. Yeah, see, all those are video files, but they have HTML file extension. I don't know why it did that. And if I remember right, that, like I said, I had gotten most of the files down. There's only 2 left. I had gotten most of the files downloaded that I was trying to download. Well, the problem was I let it download everything in the camera, and it didn't realize it was going to take so long. And so then I finally decided, okay, let's only put in the folder that I actually want. Well, I had started and restarted it several times, but yeah, every one of those that says HTML, there's 0 bytes. Oh yeah. And I didn't want to go in there and do them manually, so I was going to use an app to do that, and haven't done that yet. There's some app, duplicate file finders usually always find 0 byte files as well. Let's open that with KM Player and see what they are. Yeah, I think they have no snow in them or anything. I don't think any of them ended up. I guess I never really completely went back looking back through them. Yeah, those are at night. See, that's midnight, and that's 10 minutes after midnight. Yeah, there's nothing in there. And those others are not even video files. Well, they would have been. I'd see now it doesn't normally do that. I don't know what made it go call everything HTML files when they're not even HTML files. That's what happened after I restarted it with the, I don't know that I don't want to risk jacking up the download I have going right now by going, oh, now these are videos. All of those are videos, but they're not finished. They're 35 bytes, so none of those are any good. I guess it would have changed to video after it ran long enough. Now those are. Anything in the byte, in the byte range, it's not even going to play at all. Well, there's a bunch there. Let's see, what time is that? Okay, that's 9 something in the morning. If I remember right, well, yeah, that would be where you could see what's going on. So, okay. Now let's see. I'll just skip on through it. 9:25, 9:15, so it's going backwards. I don't guess I caught any snow that day either. Well, of course, I don't remember what day it was now that snowed, but I imagine these are the days before anyway. That was that for those. So I got. Well, you can see how many I missed. Or I think those. I don't know. It's really confusing how it did it. Those are all same thing. Yeah. See, these are the ones I finally gave up. What happened is I finally gave up when I saw what was happening there. I'm just picking the ones that are when the sun comes up. And like I said, if I turn it the other way, it would go in the right order. But now it's raining. Oh, that's right. I remember it was kept going between raining and sleeting and snowing. So this would be a good chance to maybe see some of it, but I don't think. Well, I don't know. We'll see if I got any of it. You know what? I think it was on fixing to be. Let's see, 6:54 a.m. It might have been on New Year's Eve. There's another one. Like it started over instead of stopping like it did the last time. Yeah, that started over, I'm pretty sure. So, I don't think I ended up getting a single. What day was that? Yeah. Okay, a 101.21. Some of these apps, you know, they put 2021, like I guess it's OBS or something that does that. Yeah, OBS does 2021 instead of just 21. Okay, now that would be New Year's Eve. But yeah, I had a lot of that. And now see, that has 265H. Those, I think those are, yeah. No, I don't know. It's got me all confused. But that's 11. Whoops. Accidentally hit. I'm using my keyboard to do all that. And I hit the wrong key. I hit the caps lock key. I did get a bunch on the New Year's Eve ones. Okay. '20, 12/31. Yeah, so this is New Year's Eve. That was New Year's Day, I guess, the other one. I keep hoping that that spot will get washed off of that lens, but it's been there quite a while now. I'm going to have to kept thinking I was going to have to crawl up there on a ladder, and I knew I really wasn't in any shape to do that. That might have been a little. I do remember I did look at it. Now it's starting to come back to me. I remember seeing sleet, but I don't know that there was really ever any. There might have been a little accumulation of sleet or maybe a little snow at some point. Yeah, I remember now it was going back and forth between rain and sleet, rain and maybe a little snow. And I don't know that if it really got, that would have been really slick if it was rain that froze, I don't know if our street really ever froze up. there's Christmas lights across the street now. And that's 7:24 a.m. Sun's, yeah, see the sun's 7:14 just coming up. So I don't guess I really captured any, unless it was during the times that I missed. I think it's going around again. I don't know why it's suddenly starting to go around the block, start over. It wasn't doing that before. $12:30. Yeah, see, I guess that was probably the day I started on. But so it had gotten like 2 or 3 days worth. I guess 2 days worth before I decided to shut it down and start again, and I thought I'd picked a better way. Now, those are all 0 bytes. Yeah. Now, there's some. Whatever I did, you can't go back and then back and forwards with that. Huh. It didn't select anymore after I did that. So it was a messy day. For several days there, but I didn't get the little bit. I do remember seeing it now, either on something I downloaded that I'll end up losing, or now that I think that's just rain. Showing up on the camera, is it? No, I think that is sleet or snow. Hard to tell. It's coming down hard and fast, so it could be sleet still though. Yeah, like going sideways like that, that would be sleet, or that looks too big to be snow. That's probably sleet. So yeah, there wasn't. I still can't remember if there was any accumulation. I don't think so. Is that right there looks like it could be, but that's just dry pavement there. Okay, now that time it just went. Oh, now it started over. Maybe I was just clicking that extra time without realizing it. So, yeah, I didn't get what I was trying to. So this application, well, it's really great at downloading regular websites, but when you start trying to download videos that are good, these are not giant. They're not, they're usually about 60 to 80 megabytes. But it's it's just not a real good way. That's the one thing I don't like about these cameras. There's just not a real easy way to download the files. I didn't realize it was going to be like that. So let's see, 16th. Still hasn't started on that. 15th. Now these are the ones that are, this is the folder that's been downloaded now. I don't think it's even started on Cam 2 yet. I'm back on Cam 1. But let's see. 6:10. Oh, well, you can, the computer gives it a time, the time that you can tell what's what. At 6:10 p.m. And that's 3:15 a.m. Oh, okay. So sometimes you get surprised. There's like a real wide stretch between what am I got it ordered with by the newest to the oldest. That's not how that looks to me. 12, 11. Oh, that's AM. Okay, AM. Okay, so, well, I was wanting AM, but not 12 AM. Oh, okay. Got me turned around again. 6:10 PM. Well, maybe it's working on the, I was looking for, what day are we looking at? Yesterday. I was looking for, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the morning. Oh, there they are. They're not finished downloading. So it's, I don't know how you'd think it would do the oldest ones first. Well, I guess those are the oldest ones. Well, that's the 14th. That's not even the 15th. That I don't understand why it does that. Huh. Well, I was fixing to, like do them in a different order. Well, I can do it that way without getting all out of whack. Let's see. Yeah, we don't want AM. We could start there, I think, and go up, and there'll all be no point in going to 12 in the morning, I don't think. Well, you can see with the light on, but, I've got something that's not a, if you have anything that you've selected that's not a, it's like some other kind of file, not a media file, then it won't give you the choice to open it up with VLC. PM. Well, that's not really the order I wanted anyway. 10, 20, 30, 40. Oh, okay. I see. Well, it is. Then it starts. Oh, that's going to be after dark anyway, so that wouldn't be any use. Yeah, those are all PM. Well, actually, it's already dark. Well, no, it gets dark about 7:30. Let's do that. There. Okay, that's midnight. Okay, well, I guess when the file gets, that's when the file was written to my computer I was looking at. That's why I haven't been looking at that before. So, and that blinking, I don't really know why it's doing that. And maybe, they may be, sometimes you get really short files, see they're going by really fast. Skipping a lot of frames, so I think it really is skipping to the next video. Way quicker than you'd expect. And that one's going more close to actual seconds. That snow was blowing plumb sideways, wasn't it? Yeah, you can see pretty good there where the cars are at night or day. So to me, it's more, I'm going to stop it and see if I can. To me, it's more interesting if you can watch it. Now, I think if you do if you do it by the ABC order, then you end up with all the temps. Actually, that's what it is. I think I've been listening, trying to watch some of the temp files. Let's put it back like it was. Let's see. With the little arrow pointing up, then the newest ones are on top and the oldest ones are on bottom. Well, I think I'll just select all of those. I think it can handle that all right. Okay, it's not going to be in, oldest to newest, but oh well. So that's 9:36 a.m. I think there are, I can't tell if it's going to another video when it glitches like that, or if it's a glitch in the video. But the whole reason I was trying to download these files is I was hoping to. Well, I wanted to look at them, but it's the only way I have to look at them. You either look at it real time, or you download the files to look at them. And if you go in the browser and do it, well, I showed you how I don't like doing that. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay. Well, at least I was on. I got to thinking, what am I on? I haven't paid attention to what I'm on. I'll go to the desktop. Because that's what I wanted for this, to show these. I didn't want to at least I was in a split view and I wasn't just showing me. But of course, it makes a lot more sense when, well, no, showing me doesn't help unless I'm just, you know, not showing anything on the desktop. Anyway, I'd like to do. I'm sure there's something. KDN Live is what I always use to edit videos, and I hardly ever edit. I usually do live videos or just one-shot videos. Like in my camera. Actually, when I'm just shooting with the camera, I can pause it. Like I can, like when I show the backyard, I can pause it, go in the front yard, and unpause it. That's pretty cool. So that's an edit. But yeah, it's actually starting to look pretty there. The light's starting to come on. Yeah, 654. But I really hate that whatever that is. I don't know if a bug, a kamikaze bug ran into it, or if it's a bird. But it doesn't look in the daytime. You can see it, and that's reflections. Well, that's that spot, and those may be, but they don't show up until the light comes on. But that light's it's just right under the light. I hadn't planned on putting it that high, but the night that it was it was after dark when I hung up. I started earlier, but by the time I actually got it, point of aiming this camera, it was about that dark or more. And my mom happened to come out. I don't know if she just came out to see what I was doing or what. She might have been worried about me being on the ladder. But so I said, well, hey, I was using a tablet. I was sitting right there on the roof, on the hood of the Blazer, and I could barely see it. And I was up on the ladder trying to aim it. I said, can you see that? Tell me how it looks. And she was like, well, it's not. I can't see my mailbox. It's not high enough. So I went by what she said, and I kept telling her now, you don't need to see the sky, but it ended up being way higher than I wanted it. And also I knew that, the light would shine into the lens, but I never felt like getting back up there again. I wanted to bring it down some. Actually, well, in the first place, she was out there while I was mounting because she got me to raise it up higher. And I think I did need it higher than I originally planned so that you could see the little car behind the Blazer and the mailbox. Because I did want to be able to see the car. But I can aim it down a lot, and that would probably take those spots out of it just by, because I want to see the front of the Blazer. Like if somebody's close to the house, you're not going to see them. And I'm more interested in that than being able to see, of course, the sky across the street and the houses across the street. But I'm clicking ever so often to go to the next video. Yeah, the old vehicles look a lot better with snow on them. I don't leave that on there. I've had that Blazer since '92. When I got it, it was a pretty new paint job, but as you can see, it wasn't the best paint job. It didn't start fading real bad until 20 years, I guess. But and the roof right by over the cab, it's steel, and behind that, it's actually removable. It's fiberglass. But all the paint's come off of that roof over the cab now. And the van, my uncle gave me that van 2 or 3 years before he passed away, and he painted that, and it looked pretty good. And it's not, the paint doesn't look all that bad. It's just dirty. That tree, sitting under that tree, and I hardly ever drive anymore, so it never, So if I'm not driving, I'm also obviously not out washing the vehicles and stuff. And I keep saying that. The Blazer, the carburetor's in the garage. I was about 3 years ago now. I was trying to get it all ready to re-inspected, and the carburetor had got gummed up from setting, and took it off and bought a kit. I've got the kit sitting over there by my closet. It's a Holly carburetor. I've got a Holly trick kit for it. That's what they call it. And I've done that. I put a kit in it. I rebuilt it once already years ago. There's some of that big snow or sleet flying by at an angle. And so, it's not too bad. It's just got to pay attention to what you're doing. Now, that's really got some stuff going by, doesn't it? I don't know why it keeps blinking. I don't know if it's, again, changing videos or I'm not doing it. If it is, it's awfully short videos. I didn't pay any attention to the sizes of those videos. So. But when it blinks like that, that's telling me that's probably starting a new video. I guess if I pay attention to the it jumped from 252. I don't know. I can't. I don't remember numbers hardly at all. It's snowing pretty good. I think it's jumping to new. It's going to the next video. That's what it's doing. So there's plenty of activity, and I would have some nice videos if it wasn't for those splotches up there. Anyway, I was thinking about putting it in KDN Live, and I think you can put a bunch of videos in there and then say make a time lapse and tell how far between, you know. Of course, I know for sure you can do it with snap, still shots, but you can also do that. And if I can't do it in KDN Live, there's other apps. I'm sure I could find one that I could do it. Make turn video, just take sections out of videos and make a time lapse. Bring these hours and hours of videos down to, knowing me, at least an hour. 30 minutes would probably be better though. But of course, you're just, if you're just going by time, then you don't really know if you're getting the best shots though. So I don't know. I guess you only put the ones in you like the shots in. Would be the best way to do it. And you could crop out that whole top section too. It'd be an odd size, but the way these are like 4.3 aspect ratio, it just hit me. I could put camera 1 on the left and camera 2 on the right. It would actually be how they are, I was thinking about weaving them together, but that would look really weird going between the ones shooting through the screen and this one that's nice and clear. But I could put, camera 1 on the left, camera 2 on the right, make them fit in there, and maybe even be able to crop out. I wouldn't want that. I'm thinking about not having any black bar area at all, left or right, or not really top or bottom either. I mean, it's not so bad to have some. When I do my live videos, if I have two cameras side by side, there's always black bars at the top and the bottom. It doesn't look so bad. Kind of looks like one of those extra wide film strips or something. Fixing to have a break here in a minute, but I thought I'd try to go through these. Although if it's just going to go to the first one again, I guess if I don't click too fast. No, that was, yeah, it's just going on to the next video is what it's doing. Some of them are really short. Oops. It did it exactly the same, about the exact same time I did it. But I didn't pay any attention to what I started at. That's midnight, 21. I think it may have started over. I think that's why I got that extra click, extra blink. I mean, yeah, I think so. Well, that was the end of it right there. So if I hit it again, it'll start again. There we go. Okay, we started in the daytime. I see. That's pretty. I like that. And you almost don't see that splotch on the window. I mean, on the... So anyway, now I need a break. I just wanted to do another video. 15th. I think that's where we're downloading, isn't it? The 16th is... Yeah, it's not. It's done. I did put it back in there. No, I didn't. That one I didn't. It's Cam 2. I put the 14th in there. Yeah. But I think it's still working on this folder real hard. Oh, it has got less that are... Well, it's hard to tell which ones are being done and which ones are already done. Let's see. But it has done more files faster than it ever has before because it has 72 files written and it says 68 updated. So maybe let it run long enough, it will update all the files that weren't finished. But I'm going to have to go. Last time I kept taking a break and putting up my music, my beginning music and stuff. I'm just going to go, and if I want to come back, I will. I think I'm just jabbering, not really saying anything. So I'll see you later, whenever that is.